Morning everyone. Today is the second last day of the trip, so really want to maximize the time we have left here. No more tournaments, so can fill my day right up until 9 p.m. at night. Today we're starting the day like we have most of the days here, with two little local bananas. The bananas here, because they are clearly non-GMO, are very different to the bananas you would get in most big chain supermarkets back home, where the bananas are massive. But because of that, the flavor is completely different. They are much meatier and creamier, which is an interesting way of describing them, but it really is true. So we're gonna make our way to get some real food on the beach and then proceed with the day.
My stepper gon' brush him if I press the button, too drippy to scuff. The blick in the duffel, it came with a muzzle, so why would I tussle? Diamonds dancing flooded, we don't turn nothing to something. Niggas be capping, bluffing, tweet that's a hole in your muff.
Ils vont comparer, ils repassent dans ça. Ils repassent dans le four.
Is quite the change of scenery from the meal we had last night, but here we have got Halim. This is a lentil curry that has lamb shank added to it. This little stall right by the beach was flooded with locals, so that is a sign that it must be good. I'm very much looking forward to it. It is extremely fragrant, as most curries are. Taste the typical curry flavors: turmeric, cumin, fortunately a bit of coriander.
Flashback.
I requested no coriander because I'm not a spawn of Satan. Those people need to go to jail. But the lamb is unbelievably tender, and that is delicious. The curry was just the appetizer, so here we've got the main course. In Mauritius, you get fried noodles and you get boiled noodles. So I've tried the fried noodles. Now it's time for the boiled min boulet. So we got min boulet with chicken, and basically, it's very simplistically, a little bit of like some clear broth, noodles, chicken, spring onion. I also got a cup of fresh lemon juice. So we're gonna give this a try. Gonna add a bit of the garlic water. Very different texture and consistency to the fried noodles. Can definitely taste that they're boiled, but they are chewy. It's a texture that I very much enjoy, and chicken is soft, tender and flavorful. So what more can you ask for? Really tried today to stay out of the sun as much as possible, because a burn on top of a burn is probably the worst thing you can do. So as a little activity, Marco and I decided to come to this little place next to the casino for 10-pin bowling. I do have one hand breakdown of the night. This hand was the biggest pot I played today, so let's get into it. We were playing 50, 100 with a 200 straddle. There were 3 limps. I make it 1600 on the button with aces. It is a bit larger than standard, but nobody was folding in this game, so that was a bit of an exploit. Small blind calls, under the gun calls. The flop was Jack 5-3, all clubs, and I held no club. It checks to me, and without a club in my hand, I should almost never be c-betting here. It is very easy for either of my opponents to have a flush, or something like ace of clubs queen, ace of clubs jack, that I would rather want to pot control against. The turn was the jack of spades. A pretty ugly card for us to see, as we now lose to combos such as ace jack, king jack, queen jack, jack 10. The small blind leads for 3500, and under the gun, snap calls. Small blind was an utter maniac, so he can have an incredibly wide range here. Anything from pocket 9s, pocket 10s to king queen off with 1 club. Under the gun snap calling looked to me like a flush draw, as he should at least be contemplating a raise with a jack or a flop flush. I decided to make the overcall, which may seem a bit too loose, but this was a wild game dynamic in which the lines players took was remarkably far from GTO. River, we bink Barry Greenstein. Ace of clubs on the river to make aces full. Undoubtedly securing the best hand, unless we're up against quads. The small blind checks, under the gun checks, to my disappointment. I think even though they both check, pretty much telling me that neither of them have the nut flush or a boat. Based on the pot size and the player stacks behind them, the best size was just to rip it on both of them, as they only each had around half pot left. I rip, small blind quickly folds, and after about a minute in the tank, under the gun semi-reluctantly makes the call with jack 10 off with the 10 of clubs. So our read on the situation on the turn was incredibly off, which happens to the best of us, but a good result nonetheless. So we took down around a 40k pot there, which definitely helped us in securing a chunky profit for the night. Okay, we just finished up the cash game. It is 4:30 in the morning. I am, as usual, pretty tired, but today went significantly better than yesterday did. I played pretty well, I think, but I also ran very, very well in some very key spots. There were basically 2 massive pots that were the game changer for the session. It's just unfortunate that Marco decided to hop into the 200-400 game. So I took a piece of him and he got absolutely slaughtered. Sorry, if he decides to watch this, he'll find out that I said that about him. But he did run very bad. But just my luck that I took a piece of him in that game, so that kind of diminished our profit for the night. But overall, I'm very, very happy. I think the cash games here are fantastic. It is so good to see such a bustling poker environment in really a place that no one would have expected there to be such an environment. Like almost every night they had 3-4 tables of cash games running. It was really cool to participate in. Tomorrow will be our last day in Mauritius, so I have booked a tour of some significant landmarks and great places to see. So in about 3 hours I'll be waking up for that. It is going to be incredibly tough to stay awake during the driving parts of the tour, but we do anything for the vlog. So that's it for tonight, and I will see you all in a few hours.